And he kind of works perfect with the Oracle draft too. Now, when Team Liquid grabbed Oracle, usually they pair it with some like spell casty tanky frontliner. They didn't really have one outside of Bloodseeker until the Necro came up. So while the Necro might be killable in lane, when the game continues and Insania can play behind it with Oracle, killing Necrophos is actually going to be pretty tough. So I think it was ultimately a really good pick. It does fit into their draft role, assuming its laning stage goes okay. And right now he's sitting right in the middle of the map. They're probably waiting to try to see if they can spot any heroes on lane. If they do, they'll adjust him so that he can be against the Bristleback most likely.
I do like what the Gladiators is bringing out this time around. Seeing that, you know, we've talked about the DK being one of those heroes that feels like kind of, I don't want to say a sleeper hit because he's definitely popular, but definitely provides some very nice like early game tempo. Once you get that Blink Dagger online, you get the Shard, you know, you start moving around with like +1 hero that's got a bit of that bursty damage. And then also the CM Bristleback combo is actually super nice. We saw like for quite a while the IO or like something that pairs up to kind of give that mana to like Storm or Shrek. CM is also one of those heroes that definitely has that value.
Yeah, that can be a decent way to supply him mana for sure. Just casting spells in the lane gives you good kill potential too. I mean, most of the value for Bristol is casting, you know, 7 to 10 quills on a guy. Well, if you can hit him with 2 different CM slows, then his ability to survive or to chase and continue casting more quills is even better. Boxy gonna chase Tofu here. He's got 7 seconds left until he gets used to Gucci again.
Try to eat through some of these trees. Got that Shakuchi back up. Got the Fairy Fire, but they have a sentry. Replace it. Hold in place.
Got Primal Spring. Oh, he didn't use it.
There he is. He's gonna use it now. Another couple clicks. There we go, Boxy. We'll draw the first blood. Took a while, but he got it.
He knew the vulnerability of the 15-second Sakuchi cooldown there. He's like, oh, I can hit first, then jump and dive again. So nicely done getting first blood. That'll give him a really fast boots, actually, on Boxy. That paired up with the Orb of Venom means that CM has got to be pretty careful. But generally, CM is a pretty solid laner because you can stop him from running at you. But yeah, they get the matchup they want on the Liquid side. Necrophos up against Bristleback.
So is this a situation...
I almost died there. I was really close. If he got frostbite, I think he dies.
I was going to ask, is this a situation like, you know, we've talked about, you know, maybe seeing something like a tri-lane. I know that's something that the Gladiators actually do really enjoy running, but is this a situation where you've got, you know, this Bristleback, he wants those levels. It's pretty important to him. Although, Boxy. But that's slow. And again, we have those stick charges, but gotcha. All right, nice boundless. We'll force them back. Very close, though.
I mean, you can potentially tri-lane him, but Bristol's like more of a semi-carry anyways. He's not the most traditional carry, so I think tri-laning him is a little bit overkill when you have a decent off-lane matchup against him, so I think it'll be fine.
We're gonna need some body blocks here from Dyrachyo to try to keep Celery alive, but not gonna be enough. As now this Bristleback has to run out of here. Just get a couple of these procs here and continue. Quite a few stacks over on Boxy, but they'll just back off.
Yeah, he didn't even have his boots yet, actually. He changed his mind. He went for a Blightstone instead for his first purchase, just to make his lane a little better.
You get a pick off in the top lane.
Okay.
I'll end up losing
Insania.
Yeah.
Tried to contest the pull or something like that, or completed the pull. Ended up getting punished. Dyrachyo is a little low on mana on the Bristleback side. That's one downside. But CMs don't really get Arcane Aura until at least level 3 these days, so he's still struggling a bit there. Hasn't quite bought his Ring of Health either. Maybe spending a little bit of time fighting him, but...
Ooh, doesn't have the value mango, but yeah.
What the hell? He just quilled so many times. Must have ticked over that damage threshold all of a sudden.
Uh-oh, Boxy though, he's sitting quite low, frostbite, but oh, all right. What?
All right,
he was dead. His corpse just shot off some...
That's kind of what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
I guess the difference in the Bristleback damage threshold, it goes from 210 to 200, but man, all of a sudden it just zapped out a lot there. And yeah, they just died. But they got the kill first, right? Yeah, Zai did kill him first. Zai's probably not too upset about this. He also picked up the Urn, the item that helps solidify the laning advantages. That way, if they can just kill, ideally, CM or something, you can get heals up afterwards. Or if you kill Bristleback, even if he gets you down to like 10, 20% HP, you can earn back up to offset that.
That's something that we were discussing in the car earlier when Jenkins and I were driving in. We're discussing the fact that, you know, we've been seeing kind of a shift with some of these supports, right? Like the Treant has been pretty popular if you look at pro-level pubs. I've been seeing the Abaddon, I know Fots has been playing that, or just something that harasses very strongly, like the Crystal Maiden. Seeing the uptick on her too, so you can see it's fun being able to see these teams already starting to make these bit of shifts towards this new meta.
Yeah, it's because you can't give salves anymore, right? So you can actually win lanes with attrition wars, where you just spam out your opponents. You know, distraction slack's the way to win games. Chasing, trying to get a kill here. Great Nova on the Necropost, kept him far away.
Celery though, I don't know if he's gonna make it out. They're looking, drop the Nova. Bit more, Boxy popping the wand.
Mischief dodging the Quill Spray seems a little bit difficult because it's not exactly when he presses it. They do have some projectile speed there, but if you can Mischief dodge it, it could be really huge here for these fight to the deaths. But
the hop down, they use fortification. They want this kill on Dyrachyo, but Frostbite coming in handy here from Celery will slow down Boxy a bit. Have that one creep over Dyrachyo sitting at 30 hit points here. Oof. Celery turning back around. Trying to put out some more harass. Needs a little bit more, but they could turn this back around. Dyrachyo needing to be careful as well. He's sitting just so very low. Celery's like almost no hit points here. They're just both of them, but they don't have the heal on the side of Gaming Gladiators like they do. Oh god, Boxy, he's going for it. He sees Celery, he'll take a kill. Can he get himself a double? That was a question. Ooh, it's looking a little spooky here. Yeah, they need one more hit.
Raindrop.
There it is.
All right, that got really dangerous for Zai because what he did when he left the tower range, what he was planning to do, he's like, oh, I'm just going to Ghost Shroud. I'll easily be able to survive. But he used Death Pulse, and he was like 4 mana short from Ghost Shrouding. So then he was like, all right, do I pop my 18 stick so that I don't die to the tower? Or, like, he wanted to wait to Ghost Shroud before he wanded. That way he gets way more heal, but he's forced to wand early to prevent death because he miscalculated his mana just barely. So that got really, really hairy for Liquid, but they still were able to clean up both heroes, and the Monkey King was able to die without the enemy heroes being there, so he didn't even give experience either from his death. So pretty perfect for Liquid, but definitely has been a tense lane down here.
It's been interesting to watch the two of them just play around, and again, they do have that capability of having health regen with the side of Liquid's draft, so a little bit of that advantage to offset the harass that comes out.
Do you see CM's level, by the way?
Oh god, do I want to see CM's level?
She's 5.5, Bristol's 4.5. I love when this happens. He hasn't spent his 5th point just yet. We'll see where he puts it. But every CM player is a little different. Depends on the game, basically, what heroes you're against, that kind of thing. But there's lots of options. Bristleback hasn't actually gotten any new items yet, by the way. He's got a full Vanguard coming now, but just been sitting here on this like stick quelling raindrop for the entire laning stage. This is the downside of the safe lane Bristle, I guess, that you can't get to the secret shop very easily.
It's been an action-packed lane too, to be fair, as well. But I feel like we've barely looked at any of the other lanes too. We've just been watching this bottom one the entire time.
It looks like it's going to be Zai's advantage now because he's got level advantage here. There is a Vanguard, of course, on the Bristol, so he won't necessarily die either. But we'll probably see is the support shift and go pressure other lanes instead, most likely. But in the mid lane, they're pretty close. Dragon Knight a little bit ahead, 52-8 to 46-6. Puck is level 7. He's going to start a gank on the bot lane next. Back to the bot lane. Let's keep watching it. Oh, this Centaur stun.
Oh, the Centaur. Yeah, in comes Mickey. Be able to just lock Dyrachyo on the place, and there's the Scythe. It's an elegant solution here for dealing with the tank.
I'm holding my forehead because that's just so unlucky that happened at the same time, because if he would have just started backing a little earlier, at the least it would have forced him to use Dream Coil. So they got everything they wanted on that without even having to burn Puck's resources. So pretty ideal for them.
Tofu just teleporting out away from Matu. And the Dragon Form does get popped here in the mid lane, so Boom will put a little bit of pressure on the tower, knowing that Mickey was in the bottom. A little bit of dewarding action, and Monkey King kind of dancing around here. Threw up some nice vision over here on the side, and we'll continue back in this bottom lane.
Man, I want CM to get ulti so bad. You don't always get it, but it's 8 minutes into the game, and your support, Crystal Maiden, can have ultimate. Like, it's so easy to count stuns at this level, right?
Yeah.
It's like he already used Reaper's Scythe, and you have 1 stun from Monkey King. So get in melee range and channel that shit. Like, Necrophos' 325 movement speed. He's just got an urn to defend himself. Like, oh, press it.
Well, he's holding on to it. Let's just see if the opportunity presents itself. Drop the other sentry.
They're being very careful trying to solidify this for Bristow, because if he loses his lane really bad, their game is going to be tough. I mean, they have a Dragonite, but they haven't even paired it with these like really good damage follow-ups, other than maybe like Dawnbreaker ulti. So I just feel like if Dyrachyo keeps losing this lane here, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to win this game. I just feel like Liquid would outlake them easily with between like the Reaper Scythe and the Bloodseeker carry. So it's kind of a tense moment here for Bristle, and this is why they're putting so many sentries and observers in the lane to try to stabilize it.
Gonna cancel out Solari's TP. Yes, they are. So Solari's gonna be forced here in the top lane, going for a bit of a dive over onto Insania. Land the hammer hit. And they'll burst down Insania bottom lane, though. There it is, like we talked about. They gotta just teleport out here because they don't have the stun.
It's typical CM ulti. It's like, you think it's gonna be so amazing, but sometimes it's just so useless. He just teleported, couldn't do anything. Just right on top of her, did like no damage. Ugh, disappointing.
I mean, they do have kind of the just TP lull kind of draft, right? You've got a Bloodseeker over there that might not necessarily have the stun to hold them in place after the Rupture comes out, so you just dip.
Yeah, that is true.
We're starting to see some movement now. They're starting to shift away from this bottom lane. Again, got the Dragon form online for Boom. He's got a haste rune. And Tofu's kind of dancing around, looking at the jungle. There's some stacks over there.
Matu almost got a Rupture off here on Tofu, who's kind of poking around obnoxiously, trying to split experience. Let's see if he gets spotted. Oh, he's got him this time. Theta Sentry.
No. Tofu's just going to throw out the swarm. He's immediately going to go laps back, but they were waiting for him. They knew exactly where he was going. As Ace over here is going to just flee away from Zai. He's made his own rotation. A little bit of a chase going on the other lane, though they see the opening now, so they'll end up losing Ace. But Dyrachyo is chasing after Boxy, knowing that there is no support here to keep him alive this time around, so he'll finally get his revenge.
Nice. That was really well done by Tofu. Normally, when you time-lapse against Rupture, it's pretty dangerous, because if you don't go far enough before you time-lapse, the distance that you're going to jump is going to deal Rupture damage to you. But if you go very far, like a teleport scroll, for example, then you take no damage. So he ended up going far enough, then time-lapsing back, he got the full heal without also taking the Rupture damage and instantly dying. So really well done by him. Matama Man gets him to leave the lane, I guess, but accomplishes nothing else.
There's the blink reveal here, and there's a very dead Zai.
And that's the scary thing now for Zai, that he's got his boots of travel or whatever, he's doing okay in his lane, but they do have a lot of magic burst against him.
I mean, that's the whole play whenever you get this Dragon Knight, right? We've seen it so often being paired with oh, all right, there we go. Oh, that delicious, delectable gold, as Jenkins would say. Actually
good usage, because Dragonite, with his item build, by the way, he skipped Bottle, and he didn't get Soul Ring either. So he actually doesn't have much mana this game. He's relying on CM to get it, and that's why he's been able to get his Blink Dagger so stupidly fast here. I think they used that to kill Necrophos top lane.
They did,
So kind of a cool little thing to shave off and accelerate your timing to up your tempo and allow your team to start pressuring Liquid faster. Normally you expect the blink like a minute or two later.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Couple wards getting placed. They're just going to take over the side of the Dire jungle. Get that little stat again. It's 2.5 minutes faster this patch than the average. But yeah, we've been seeing a lot of this Dragon Knight paired up with, Skywrath Mage or, the Grimstroke, because it's just such a strong combination. Eventually, he's got to get the Shard. It's going to be more and more difficult for Zai, especially, to survive some of this with all the magic damage that'll be able to be output.
It will be a lot, but it is still like no. If you compare Skywrath Mage's burst combo with Dragonite to like almost any other hero, it's just not the same. So I do still worry a little bit for them, in that, are they going to be able to like successfully get these kills? I'm not sure.
Tofu trying to
with their net worth advantage, it'll definitely help though.
Just have to be careful here. Matu is just running at him over here. They've got mid time lapse though, making some space. Just have to be careful again. They have the sentry just about to go down though over here on the side. So Tofu just being annoying little bug here. Does eventually get spotted. They'll use the Scythe to ensure that he does not escape this time.
It was great space creation, at least. It gave them a lot of work to do, but Little Reaper Scythe, just level 1, 2 HP regen, no big deal. Dying for that cooldown is really not that bad, to be honest, considering he could have died a lot easier. But now that Liquid's going to shift towards the mid lane, this is where things get a little bit harder for the Gladiators. Ace does have his ultimate ready to go, and he's got a damage build, by the way. He's 2-4-3 with an Orb of Corrosion and an Armlet. So the amount of heal he's going to get from Luminosity is pretty solid. It's not incredible, the amount of healing you get, but as he levels up, it'll get better.
Okay, well, they see the opening on Ace, and that's a big gank train, so this is most likely resulting in a dead Dawnbreaker.
Nice try.
And, yeah, we've got the Spirit Vessel online. Like we said, for the Necrophos is going to be very effective against any sort of healing coming out from the side of Gladiators.
The nice thing for the Gladiators is that Bristol's caught up a lot. He is top net worth right now. So even though they are sometimes getting picked off in these moments, he's recovered. Their timing is coming up. They've got the 1,200 gold to go. But Dyrachyo getting ran at. No Reaper Scythe.
No Scythe. Oh, they thought about it here. Foxy ring up. Boom. Jumping in, though, with that Blink Dagger and the stun will ensure that they get a kill on Boxy. And in comes Ace. That global presence is pretty nice, but doesn't look like they're going to pursue any further. Unless they stick around. Zai's sticking around here. That's a little bit scary. Yeah, there's the blink as expected. Follow-up starters. There we go. Oh, good save, though, coming out from Insania. They're going to turn this back around. They do have that outpost up and running. Dream Coil's going to get used. Frostbite holding Matu into place. It's not looking great as Crystal Maiden gets silenced up. That was hopefully, she wanted a good ulti. Not going to have it. Now Ace trying to fight for his life over here in this corner. Not going to be able to do it. It is a lone Celery over here. He's hoping maybe the creeps help him out, but no. Not going to be the case, as now Tofu's gonna have Shikuchi out. Does have the Shikuchi, but was also dusted during all this, so is gonna have to. No, it's a triple kill now for Mickey.
I mean, I don't think Zai expected them to go high ground, to be honest. I mean, when we see what happened, it looked like a bait, but both teams were a little surprised, I think. Gladiators were like, oh shit, he's still here, hell yeah. And Zai would have died super easily if not for Insania, but again, this pairing is incredibly good. Necrophos already amps up his own healing. He provides his own healing, so having an Oracle behind him gives him the full Aegis reset, basically, with nothing being lost. And in the meantime, he's just done tons of Heartstopper damage, so plus Spirit Vessel stuff. So great team fight there for Team Liquid as they stabilize against the Gladiators, who still haven't quite hit their true timing. The Ags on Bristle, which is almost hit. 300 gold to go.
That's close, and so is that Spirit Vessel for Tofu. So that's going to be very important with the amount of heal that's coming out from the side of Liquid.
It'll be really good, but still Oracle's a really nice solution against it because of he can dispel it with Fortune's End. He can stop all magic damage being dealt to the target with Fate's Edict. He can ulti to both dispel and basically offset the effects of the Spirit Vessel anti-healing. I mean, it'll still deal the damage technically, but if the Spirit Vessel isn't on the target when the Oracle ulti ends, it's not going to prevent any of the healing coming to the hero. So Oracle is a good hero for these solutions, and the Spirit Vessel is coming, like you said, but it feels later than would be ideal. That's why these core rushes with the Spirit Vessels can feel so good. You just get it so early that your opponents don't have time to get any item solutions.
Yeah, I mean, Zai had his very, very quickly. This is the way that the lane was going, but bottom lane, Mickey picking off here, has himself a target, still has him leashed up. They'll even go for the Rupture, drop the Blood Right. And that's going to result in a dead Tofu. But the Ags is completed now for Dyrachyo, so that is a big timing for Gladiators, as they're already in the pit.
But, okay, that part's good, I guess, but with Weaver dead, it feels a little bit tougher. I mean, Tofu's been doing the hard job of trying to push out these side lanes, but the fact that it's easy for Liquid to kill him relatively makes their game so much simpler, because otherwise he would just constantly be threatening like tower pressure and make it hard for Liquid to fight.
Okay, well, they'll be able to take out Ace here over in this mid lane. They use the Scythe for it, so that's another collected charge here. But that is the Roshan getting taken. The Aegis picked up on Dyrachyo. So I think they're okay with it on the side of Gladiators.
Yeah, but I'm worried about the... I feel like Liquid is just playing so well right now. They're finding these openings to get kills. Mickey's 3, 0, and 5, so he's basically going to have a guaranteed good game. He's got Blink Dagger. He's getting approaching a Linken's as well. That way the Dragonite stun is never going to catch him, and with that there's like no threat to Puck dying. So Like, Bristleback carry is strong when he hits his Ags timing, and he can be aggressive in these, like, 5v5 fights by disabling everybody, but I feel like the fights have been quite segmented so far and spread out, and been a lot of Liquid just getting these solo pickoffs on the map, and that makes it harder for the Gladiators to force these engagements in, like, a 5v5 where Bristol's more effective.
But is this the situation
So I'm a bit worried for them.
where they've been waiting for the Bristol to finish off the Agnum Scepter, because now they're all playing fairly nearby. Obviously, you don't need to have the Dawnbreaker necessarily that close because of that global presence,
Correct.
but they are starting to group more. Perhaps they were just waiting for that particular item timing.
That was part of it, and they were also trying to get pickoffs on the map. They made a couple mistakes, and all of a sudden,
Okay, gotcha.
this could be it, though. Bristol runs right past Zai. They're both just like, okay, Steve.
I feel like they're surprised every time they kind of wander into each other here.
They kind of high-fived with their bodies in that example, actually.
There you go.
Just accidental one. So far, we haven't really seen too much value out of the Dawnbreaker, though. His ulti setups haven't felt incredible, but it'll be a little bit easier now. And Ace will provide some really nice carry potential. Most times that we see Dawnbreaker core, you don't see these like damage type items, but the Armlet Orbit Corrosion build, he's going to do a lot. And he's going to follow up on the Dragonite stuns. So Gaimin Gladiators just need to have a Dragonite jumping in, initiating, and they need the follow from Ace.
Okay, well that's not the way that... I mean, that's very good for Liquid here. They found themselves the person that they want. A little bit of a chase though coming out from Dota2 to go drop the swarm. As he's gonna go right after Insane. He knows that that's the guy who's gonna be able to keep everyone alive. So they'll end up losing Insane. A beautiful Dream Coil though. Over onto 3 as they go. They drop the Monkey King ulti. In comes Ace. He's gonna try to heal everybody back up. Gets right back in there with the buyback, but boom, he's sitting so low. And look how fast Matu is running around these back lines. He sees Ace. He's thinking that he would love to get this kills. Both of them sitting very, very low. This is gonna be the Aegis. And Ace will die back. Matu's just having the time of his life. Chases after the Crystal Maiden. Finds another kill. And now Tofu. Oh, they go right back over onto Dota2. Got these split fights like we talked about. That is not the way they wanted that Aegis to go. Not the way that they wanted the Stonebreaker to have the effect as Dota2 grabs up this one Invis rune. And I think that's going to be his save here.
Man, the Necrophos was just such a good pick, and I feel like that's what we're seeing in this game so far. But Liquid doing the anti-Spectre thing, right? The guy that's going to globally TP, you just kill him at the start of the fight.
Gonna make a play over on a Boxy. Do they have enough damage? Can they do it fast enough? No, they can't. So he just teleports away.
Ah, feels so bad. But yeah, they keep targeting Dawnbreaker, knowing that he's very killable. He's got tons of HP, he's got great armor, but against the Spirit Vessel and the Reaper Scythe and the Puck Burst, they kill him pretty easy. So even though he buys back there and tries to land a good ultimate, he still missed Puck on the first jump, so he basically accomplished nothing on that. Here's him dying right away. Very, very simple for them. Team Liquid backs up. Very nice play by Dota2 to go straight for the Oracle. That's what he's got to do. This forces Insania basically to pop ulti on Zai, which was pretty helpful. Removes the Spirit Vessel. Makes sure that he's definitely not going to die for 10 seconds. But the Dream Coil offset things a lot. They're able to get outside of the ulti from Dawnbreaker, so there's no impact there. Yeah, they kill the Puck afterwards, but then Matu runs in, literally a speeding train, and he just cleans up everything. So all their problems were kind of covered on the Liquid side, and now they're just going to pressure the map in the live game.
It's like a good time to do it, knowing that the Dawnbreaker was down after buying back. And yeah, we've got this nice advantage going over the side of Liquid. They did pick up a BKB now on this Bristol back, but it feels like they're having problems kind of keeping this Dawnbreaker alive, and she is very needed for these fights.
Once she gets BKB, it's going to be different. But in the same vein, I just haven't really felt her presence in a massive way yet. She will get there eventually. I've played Dawnbreaker Core Semi recently, and like her mid game feels okay damage-wise. It feels good in the late game, I would say. But so far, it's been hard for her to combo her ulti in a big way. Ideally, you combo with like Ravage or something, but it's a single target blinking stun. That's how they do it. But maybe they'll get a good fight eventually.
They're hoping for it. They see boom, boom, blinks away. 3 downs coming out, looking to see if they can go and hit that stun as Tofu slipping around Dota2 up front and center here against Zai. A little bit of a split fight. There's going to be the BKB coming out as they get the root into place. Over onto Zai. Crystal Maiden ulti. In comes Ace with that ultimate, but they'll be able to keep alive just a little longer thanks to Insania. Just throws it out. The Scythe gets dropped over here on the side. They need a little bit more damage. Insania is finally going to fall, but they'll end up losing Ace. They've already lost Celery, and now boom, he's going to have to teleport away from this fight.
Nice. Not the worst considering. They got ruptured on Bristol. He was kind of low. He TP'd out during his BKB, knowing that him sticking around in this fight wasn't going to go well. As soon as his BKB runs out, he's going to get cleaned up by Necrophos, Spirit Vessel, a couple right clicks, that kind of thing. But maybe they can go in on Necro here.
Looking a little bit tough, but boom. Jumping in, dropping the fireball, throwing down the blood right here from Matu. They do finally manage to take down Zephyr. Duracho's so low, the chase is on. They'll end up losing the Bristle back as Tofu now trying to keep tabs on Matu. He's quite fast as Mickey jumps over onto the back lines, manages to get the silence with the Waning Rift. And now it seems that Liquid, they've left this area. They're happy with getting the kill on Duracho. They're not going to push their luck right now.
I think I saw a Death Pulse that had flown across the entire map there, interrupt the Blink Dagger on Boom right as Bristle went in there. So like he didn't get to stun for like 3 seconds after he intended. I might be wrong, but I saw it fly to him and I saw that his BKB or his Blink was on cooldown. So that might have been part of the reason that Bristleback got a little overcommitted there without his BKB. He expected Boom to be able to follow up, but it got delayed. So that's kind of unfortunate. That's one of those things that you just don't expect, because he must have TP'd away from top right. There was a Death Pulse and it just followed him. So it ended up actually being instrumental in that example, and apparently it's not a disjointable spell from TP, so kind of weird, but even still good. Let's see.
Yeah, there it is. There's the pulse.
On the left,
yep.
There's the Death Pulse, and then like 20 seconds after this, watch, the Bristle's gonna run in. He's like, all right, we're fighting. He waited a second so that DK can get closer, and watch, he goes in right now.
And there's no stun immediately. Yeah.
Where's DK?
No. Oh gosh.
It's because DK's Blink it was just there that it came off cooldown. That Death Pulse actually mattered. And that is basically why Duracho died. Because he got attacked for like 4 more seconds and Zai got to press way more spells. That was pretty unfortunate.
That is such a like wild thing that you don't really consider. You didn't think that you had to consider there.
And he's not going to be looking for it too. Sometimes they're like graphical effects like that. You're like, oh, whatever. That one's maybe not going to hit me, you know? Like those attacks that fly across the map after you TP or something.
Yeah. All right, well, there it is. There's the BKB now for Ace. So Dawnbreaker going to be a bit more survivable in these fights, as long as they don't get stun locked the entire time. That is, of course, the one thing that could cause some problems. Is Mickey just poking a little bit over Duracho. Not hard committing just yet, because they're waiting for the rest of the team. Matu making his way over. Pop the Manta, throws out some of these illusions, wants to get a little bit of vision. Boxy providing some of that vision too. Wind up with Wukong's. Boom, turning around, lands a stun, has the BKB, is just going to teleport away. Doesn't want anything to do with this right now. The rest of the team is not there.
That was like the most value BKB TP I've seen in my whole life. He was so dead without it. Oh my god. Had no escape other than teleporting home. So big ultimate's used, but they're still going.
All right, there it is, the BKB pop from Ace. Don't know if they really want to take this fight, though. Is Duracho just trying to stack up some of these quills, all this nasty goo. They're gonna back off a little bit. That was, oh no, Ace, not again, not again. Oh, he thought he was safe there, but they still had the vision, they had the sight. It's over. Another blood right dropped on the ground. Boxy lining up the Boundless. Another pick off here for Matu.
They're just running at their opponents constantly. Even if they burn all their ultimates to force a Dragonite TP, they don't care. They just keep running because they know that they have really solid damage, and the Bristleback can't really stop these problems. Normally what you do is you're just gooing the whole squad, and then at some point you have to be scared about engaging him, but like Necro's never gonna die. He just turns on Ghost Shroud and he stops taking Bristle damage for like 5 seconds. So until they get like a nullifier solution or something, I don't see how they win these fights.
Oh, Duracho has been ruptured. He'll pop his BKB, and again, he's fairly tanky. Boom. Thinking about going in. Zai also, surprise, hello, joining in, but the rest of them on the side of Gladiators, they don't want to go back over towards this pit, so Liquid should be able to take this Roche fairly easily.
They'll be back for now. I mean, Bristol can definitely run for a while by turning around and reducing their rupture damage, but it just feels so hard for them to take these fights against Liquid. They kind of lack Disable. We still haven't really seen a great combo between the Dawnbreaker and the Dragonite. Just really feels like the Necrophos was a massive wrench in Gaimin Gladiators' plan this game.
All right, well, they have a smoke coming out from Gladiators. Liquid anticipating this. They've been sitting around the Roche pit. They know that Gladiators knew exactly where they were, and so they backed out of the pit, and they're hoping to possibly take an advantageous fight. Trying to get the vision. Trying to figure out the positioning here. Zai, very forward here, is the most difficult one to kill, feels like, recently. Boxy providing the vision. Go with Monkey King. We'll see. They'll follow up. Nice Dream Coil, but they're outside of the ring as they'll pop with Blood Right. Already popped the BKB on Ace. Throw the hammer. Oh, they still managed to get out Dyrachyo. Now, Boom, forced to use his own BKB. He's going to have to teleport out. He's going to be able to do it in time. He sat very low during all that, but it was a bit close. It's now Celery. They have their eyes on this Crystal Maiden. They have a gem. They're going to be able to, they use the Scythe, because why not? Why not get that extra stack?
He wants the regen, and he gets it. It just feels to me like Liquid have like 8 abilities that are really super annoying for Gaming Gladiators to deal with, and Gaming Gladiators has literally nothing on the other side. What's their most obnoxious ability? It's like Dragon Stun?
It's bad when you have to deal with that much of a question mark in your voice. Puck is on his way here. Yeah, Mickey, they just immediately make their way over to Boom. They say, don't you dare touch any of our guys. That is not allowed. The rest of the team, Liquid, they're all here in this bottom lane. They've regrouped. They're ready to go after this tower.
I just feel like the Gladiators lineup had like a huge draft misfire in some ways. Like their combos are not that incredible, so it's hard for them to like get pickoffs now that they lost the laning stage more than they should have.
Mickey jumping into the back lines, finds himself a Crystal Maiden. She's toast. Is it
so easy?
Is it a hole in the draft or was it a surprise necro? I mean, again,
it's both technically. Like they don't have good combos with DK, so it's hard for them to get these easy pickoffs.
Mickey jumping back and forth. We'll drop the Dream Coil over onto the back lines. The buybacks. So Crystal Maiden, she just wants to get them out of the base, do whatever she can to help this team, but it is so hard for them to approach right now. They don't have the Dragon Knight. He's down for another 20-something seconds. Doesn't want to buy back. Trying to stack up all of this nasty goo and just bristles, but it's so hard for the rest of the team to stand toe-to-toe and be a part of this fight along with Dyrachyo because they just crumble onto the back lines. And again, how do you kill this Necro?
You basically can't. I mean, he's got a lot of armor. Magic Burst is one way, but a lot of their damage is physical, actually. It's Dragon Knight combos, which is moderate amount of magic, and then you have Bristle is physical. Dawnbreaker is a lot of physical with the build that he's picked up, and Weaver's physical. They have a Spirit Vessel, I guess. That's okay against him. So they have the potential, but he's going to get backed up by Oracle, so he basically just doesn't have to buy BKB because there's no Oracle in this game.
All right, they're going to try to bait Boom. Use the Rupture, the rest of the team sitting on the high ground. Dyrachyo will go forward here. Nice Boundless, though, coming into play from Boxy.
Even the Oracle's so good.
Okay, they're hoping maybe they can finally get the jump over onto Monty, but no, the save comes out from Insane. Izai jumping forward with that side. Not quite enough to kill Boom, though, this time around. Matu chasing around after Ace. Dyrachyo in the middle of everyone here, but just ends up getting a little bashed as they're going to have to run away from the Monkey King ultimate. Somehow Boom's still alive. Big A this time will fall. And now Crystal Maiden, she got off the ultimate, but did immediately get canceled out as Matu. He wants this kill. He would like Celery. He's got the look how fast he is with his little spider legs. Oh, good lord. Is going to have to throw that Frostbite out. Slow down just a bit. He is still chasing after Celery. He's eventually going to get that prize. Ice is going to be the one who grabs it as Dyrachyo back into the fight. They are losing buildings, though, in the base as they're just trying to kill Zai, and he's just so damn survivable. How do they do it? Matu climbing right back in, sees that Dyrachyo's sitting very, very low. Okay, there it is. That's going to be the Aegis. Dyrachyo going to have to run away here, but eventually does fall to Zai. As now Boom and Tofu, they're doing everything they can along with Ace. They just need to get out some more damage, but they're still losing these buildings in the base. They need to go and handle this. They're going to lose the other racks right here, right now, if they don't get there now. Cardi just hitting away. Matu, though, finding the opening. He's just going to clean up Liquid. Taking an amazing fight, distracting them from what's going on in the base. Everything's turning up Liquid.
How many units did Bloodseeker run during that fight? That's what I want to see. It's got to be like 10,000 or something like that. That was so much running back and forth that they had to do to eventually win that fight. There's buybacks from Gaming Gladiators to try to defend this, and they did a really good job. Like, they poked Bloodseeker and got him really low before they finally went for their glory combo.
Oh, Dyrachyo, this is not looking good. He pops the BKB. Tofu has the little bit of double damage here. He's going to chase after Mickey, but it's just so hard to get your hands on him. You have to have a very good method of lockdown, and Insane is just there to provide all of this save. He has been on point, this Oracle. I mean, I know that it's one of his, best heroes, but he has really just been the solution to a lot of things.
That big moment. They poked Bloodseeker down low enough that they could finally do their combo. And this is what their draft does. It's a stun into a Dawnbreaker ulti. That's it. So like maybe I think they expected to win their lanes a lot more because that's the impact of their team fight, and it feels really underwhelming compared to what we're normally seeing with DK combos. So yeah, like their laning stage should have gone better. They were supposed to like overpower their opponents with a net worth advantage, but their lanes went worse than they expected them to. Necrophos did better against the Bristol. He got tons of pressure kills against the Dawnbreaker as well to limit her carry potential effectiveness. Like the Necro certainly offset a lot of the timing stuff that the Gladiators wanted to go for, and that's part of the reason that now Liquid just gets to run at them whenever they want and use their powerful teamfight ultimates because they're ahead.
Just laughing, looking at Matu with the spider legs, just zipping around everywhere. It's like a horror film. Like,
yeah.
Good grief. Smoke play, though, from the Gladiators. They're hoping that perhaps they can get a pick off here. It's a bit of a rough one earlier. Okay, they find themselves Zai, but Zai already just jumps away. Bloodright getting dropped. They've already used the Rupture over onto Boom. They've got the Lotus on him, though. Having any sort of bounce back. Dyrachyo again trying to be that front man. The only one really right now with Boom. He's not really allowed to move quite yet. They're on the low ground. Now the Rupture being used over onto Dyrachyo. Got the Ethereal Blade completed for the puck. The Scythe over on the back lines. There is no more Boom. And there's not going to be a Celery as he ends up getting left behind. Zai's got himself a double kill.
It's just so hard for them to take fights. Their combos aren't there. They're entirely reliant on the Dragon Tail stun, and Zai's Quick Fingers gets them out of that. And Matama Man's Quick Fingers gets the nice Rupture. And they've got 2 Ruptures, by the way, so it just gets worse and worse and worse for him.
God, look at it. It's Zai's 13, 4, and 17. Like, this guy has just been having a great game.
Yes. Must be nice to play without having to worry about buying defensive items and having an Oracle sit behind you. But he has played really well by himself, too.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, in goes Liquid. Just rip apart these buildings. There's not a whole heck of a lot that Gladiators can do right now. Again, they don't have Boom for another 30-something seconds. I have not felt the presence of Ace that much, unfortunately, here on this Dawnbreaker.
He just got countered too much. Liquid did a great job punishing him. They went around the map in that mid-game period. They committed like 2 to 3 ultimates to kill him because he was definitely easy to kill pre-BKB. They just like Dream Coil him. They hit him with the Spirit Vessel, they Reaper Scythe him. He dies way easier than you would expect. If there wasn't a Reaper Scythe, if that was like a different offlane hero, he's gonna tank a ton of damage and maybe his team can come back him up. But the kills on him were just so clean in the mid game that it delayed his BKB, and then it made his like carry potential output just not feel very solid. So that's why they don't feel very strong right now.
Gosh, they're doing a bit of a poke here. They will smoke up on the side of Gladiators. It looks like they're gonna make a sweep. Try to get around them, but they do have, they've got people in position over here. It's in fact a Zai. Tofu Kuchiing through, dropping the ward here. Dyrachyo running in again. This Rupture causing a lot of problems with the side of Gladiators. BKB comes out from Boom, but this is not a clean initiation. This is not what Gladiators wanted to do here because you can't move Dyrachyo. Boom's already used the BKB. They still end up losing the tower.
They got to do what they can though. Playing around cliffs like this is a great way to get some advantage with Dragonite since you can spot your opponents. And they are hoping that Liquid will approach this area. I mean, it's the place that holds into the ground near their racks.
Oh my god.
Become feast for the
yep.
fly.
Any kill is easy at this point.
It's one hell of a bug zapper Liquid got going on there.
Yep. And with that kill, now that forces Gaimin Gladiator to retreat. And now they get to retake the cliff spot. And now they're really screwed because now they have to sit in their base, losing that cliff spot. So when Roche respawns, it's going to be easier for Liquid to control it now, having taken control of the cliff spot again. They just need to sit their tanky heroes in the front, and then everything should be fine. Boxy scouting on trees potentially. Matu with his BKB be the closest person to the enemy side. And when Tofu gets back up, then Gaimin Gladiators can get on the map again and try to contest Roche. But we'll see if they can do it in time, because it takes time to cross the map a little bit, deward the areas you need to deward, and then take the Roche fight. They could also do this like YOLO smoke, but if Liquid anticipates it and positions well, it's going to be difficult to not get your smoke broken before the fight starts. And even then, you're running into Roche area without vision. We're nighttime here, so this is like a really, really tough time for the Gladiators.
Yeah, speaking of vision, I will have to say, I think Boxy's done a great job this game, like being able to provide them with all the information with this hero, just constantly tree dancing and just giving them the proper setup I think, is a huge advantage of what Liquid has going on. They really struggled with that on the side of Gladiators. Feels like, you know, you've got these run at you heroes, but they've been struggling a bit to find these openings, find these opportune initiations, especially now that's later game, now that you have the rupture charges. You just immediately jump on someone's very, very tanky, force them to be KB, and they don't want to move. So just a really nice draft and setup here. All right, they'll find Zai over here. They'll get the jump. Again, there we go. There's the rupture. Got the Lotus Door follow-up with the Dream Coil over here on the Boom. He's got the BKB. Dota2 gonna sit in the middle of Oldest, trying to get in there, but no, he just absolutely obliterates Boom. Dota2, he's got the double damage. He's trying to fight Matu here, but it's just looking too different. They're gonna end up losing Celery. They have the heal over onto Matu. The False Promise coming in handy. There's the Scythe. Liquid just has yeah, they call GG. It's just too difficult for the Gaimin Gladiators at this point.
They gave it a real try, though. This game was looking rough the last 10-15 minutes, but Team Liquid just looked completely on another level in this match. The laning stage was close, certainly, with the Necrophos matchup against the Bristol. Bristol almost won his lane. It was seriously a very, very close lane all the